Hey guys, welcome back. So over the last couple of weeks, I've done a lot of videos on forbearance, and recently over the last couple of days, I've received a lot of questions with regards to forbearance on questions that I haven't actually addressed. And I thought if one person has them, then chances are a lot more people have that same exact question. And so I thought today I would use this video to address those questions to help shed some light and address them if there's something you've been thinking of, or maybe you haven't even thought of those exact scenarios, and help guide you in the right direction. I'm Jeb Smith. I'm a real estate broker here in Southern California. My channel is all about real estate, whether it being buying, selling homes, investing in real estate, or just being a homeowner, and how trending topics might affect you, especially with everything going on. So if that interests you, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up if you like the content. So the first question I've gotten that I haven't addressed is, how do you actually cancel forbearance? And so if you're one of those people that reached out initially and thought, hey, I need forbearance, I'm going to take it regardless of whether I can make the payments or not, just to have it as a backup, great thinking. But unfortunately, chances are that lender, that servicer that you make your payment to, when you went into forbearance, has now reached out to the credit bureaus and put that little saying, those words on your credit report that says that you're in forbearance. And a lot of people are reaching out saying those words on their credit report have actually dropped their credit score, and they want to know, how do I actually cancel this and get out of the forbearance? And another thing is, people have said, well, I'm in forbearance, but I'm continuing to make my payments. Well, if you haven't actually called the lender to cancel that forbearance, chances are it's still showing on your credit report and could be affecting you. And the biggest thing here is that having that forbearance on your credit, that reading those words that you're in forbearance, is going to affect you from being able to refinance, being able to purchase a home, being able to do other things, whether it's getting a car loan or just getting credit in general. So you really don't want those words on your credit report. And the other thing I'm hearing is that lenders could require you to make 12 monthly payments on time after the fact before they allow you to refinance or purchase a home. So whether or not that changes with updated guidelines after all of this goes on, that could affect you. So you don't want that on your credit if you're planning on doing something in the near future. So how do you cancel it? One is by making those payments current, right? So, making that lump sum payment that we've addressed in the past. One could be setting up a payment plan with the lender, but you want to talk with that lender, and when you're having that conversation with regards to the payment plan, ask him those questions. Now, once I accept this payment plan, is it still going to read that I'm in forbearance? Because if it does, that's not actually getting you out of forbearance. It's just allowing you to make your payments and get caught up. And in some cases, that may help you. But if you're actually trying to get it removed, then you need to come up with another situation. One of the other options is a loan modification, at which point you'll probably have to supply documentation to your servicer, to your lender, to show them that you actually need a modification, at which point they'll set up a plan. Now, another thing is, you need to make sure when you set up that modification, or you go through that modification, is it going to remove you from forbearance? If you have payments that haven't been made, whether they're added onto the end of your loan or restructured somehow in your loan, does it remove you from forbearance? So that's a conversation you have to have with your lender with regards to that. But the easiest way to get removed from forbearance is to make all of your payments current, and to ask the lender to have it removed. Now, I understand that in most cases, or in a lot of cases, people aren't going to be able to do that. So it's important to have that conversation with your lender to find out how they're going to word it on the credit bureaus. Now, I realize at the moment I can't get into a lot of detail with that specific question, because we don't know how creditors are going to read the repayment plans and loan modifications and all of that with regards to forbearance. So make sure you're having that conversation. Now, the second question that I received that I thought was a really, really good question, something I haven't even considered, is that if you purchased your home and you had a co-signer with you, and that co-signer went on the loan with you, this is for you, right? So somebody reached out to me. They said, hey, look, I went into forbearance, and it now shows that I'm in forbearance on my credit report. But what I didn't consider was that when I purchased my property and my parents were on the loan with me, their credit reports are now showing in forbearance. So how do I get them out of forbearance, them reporting it on their credit report? And the answer is you can't. If they are on that mortgage with you, if one of you goes into forbearance, then essentially everybody on that loan is in forbearance. So, before accepting forbearance, this is one of those things you need to consider, right? Is how is it going to affect the other people on the loan? In this case, the parents are going to be in a situation where, if they wanted to refinance a property or buy another property or what have you, there's a very good chance they're going to be affected, even though they're not really responsible for making those payments, even though the daughter in this case is making the payments on the loan, the parents are still affected. Now, traditionally speaking, if you can prove that one person was making the payments, then the parents in this case could refinance another property or what have you and not be responsible for those payments. But in the situation now where somebody isn't making a payment, then they're holding the parents or whoever on that loan responsible for the exact same thing. So, this is something you need to consider before actually taking the forbearance. But again, the easiest way to get them out of this and or you out of this is to make those payments current. Now, maybe before accepting forbearance, you go to the in-laws or whoever it is that co-signed with you and say, hey, look, this is the situation I'm in. Are you in a position to help me out? And I just pay you. That way you're not affected, because, otherwise everyone's going to be affected in this scenario. And the only way to get out of it is to bring those payments current. And in some cases, people aren't going to be able to do that. So, unfortunately, I don't have a clear-cut answer there other than you've got to make those payments current, and then all of you will be out of forbearance, at which point, if lenders change guidelines, then you should be able to refinance or purchase something sooner than 12 months. If not, it looks like 12 months after the forbearance is ended is more or less the number that is required in order to be able to do anything with regards to refinancing, purchasing another house, or whatever. So, last question is, what if my loan is not federally backed? I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, look, I love your videos. You've provided a lot of insight on conventional loans, on federally backed loans like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA. But what if my loan's not federally backed? I just found out it's not. And what they're telling me is they're only giving me 3 months, at which point the 4th month my lump sum payments are due and they're not giving me any other options. Unfortunately, those lenders that aren't federally backed aren't required to be on the same guidelines that Fannie and Freddie and Congress and everybody's put out with regards to the CARES Act. So, these lenders can structure their forbearance however they want. So, again, communication is the key here. Make sure you're calling them, telling them your scenario, telling them where you are, that you're not in a position to make these lump sum payments, at which point, hopefully, they will work out something with you, whether it's extending the forbearance or setting up a repayment plan or what have you, because otherwise, they're not required to do so. Whereas, the conventional lenders or the federally backed lenders, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, and VA, will work with you, right? They're required to work with you, whether it's extending your forbearance period or setting up some sort of payment plan over time or adding it to your loan. They're required to work with you. The people, the companies, the lenders that are not federally backed are making their own guidelines. They're making their own rules with regards to how the forbearance works. So, again, communication is the key here. There's no set in stone rules that say they have to do this. Some are going to play by different rules than others. But what I would encourage you to do is, again, have those conversations and make sure you're clear that you're not in a position to continue making your mortgage payment at this time, or that you need extension, or that you've been affected by COVID, or whatever it is. Just be very, very clear in what you need and continue to call them. If you don't get the right answers up front, continue to do your research and try to get that information. So, as promised, I will continue to update you guys as I get more information on forbearance. If you have questions like I addressed today, reach out to me directly. You can find my contact information on my website, and you can put your questions in the comments below. I do my best to address those, to answer every question that comes up. And, as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the videos, to provide insight and feedback from your end, and also provide information on how I've helped, because ultimately that is the goal here, is to help educate buyers, sellers, homeowners, and help guide you through this crazy real estate process and market that we're going through at the moment. But again, if I can be of assistance, do me a favor, reach out directly. Thank you for taking the time to watch the videos. We'll see you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.